My name is Ty Cleveland, also known as Big T here on Mud Talk. I am 34 years old. I'm an educator, and I am a proud Black man in therapy. So growing up in my family, we never talked about mental health. It wasn't something that we really discussed, just because growing up, it really didn't seem like a thing that was kind of forefront. As far as emotions, I would say as far as like crying, it really just depended on the situation, but for the most part, it wasn't expected for you to cry, especially if you are a young Black boy growing up in inner city. And so crying was kind of like a weakness. And so, you kind of got teased for it or whatever the case may be. And so a lot of it was kind of just bottled up. And yeah, as far as therapy growing up, like I said, that really wasn't something that was discussed in our family, just because it wasn't a topic of discussion. I felt like growing up around that time in the 90s. Whew. So it really wasn't until I became a young adult and really started to let the emotions kind of flow. As a young adult, I really had no problem with crying, but I had a big problem with going and talking to somebody about it. And so a lot of times I kind of just handled it on my own, which was not always healthy. And so with that, I really didn't know how to process a lot of different things, whether it was anxiety or depression or whatever case may be. So yeah, it definitely had a great deal on how I handle situations and emotions growing up. So when I was 26, maybe, in 2017, I remember one morning I was waking up and getting ready for work, and I remember that I could not feel the left side of my body. At that time, I was working in the school system, but within that school system, I was doing 2 jobs at the same time. I was coaching different, dance teams and step teams. I was working at Fame Studios. I was running my own organization, the Impact Program in Toledo. I was doing a whole lot. And so I felt, stressed and overwhelmed and had a lot going on. And I woke up one morning and couldn't feel the left side of my body, and I had this pounding headache. And so I thought, maybe it was from kicking it, over the weekend or whatever, but it was not. And I woke up and I text my boss, and I was like, something's not right. I'm going to the hospital. I went to the hospital, and they told me it was a good thing I came in because my blood pressure was like dangerously high, and I was in the process of possibly having a stroke. So I remember being in a hospital bed, and they were asking me like, what are you stressed out about? What's going on? And they were asking me this because I was so young. And they told me, being that I was so young, they wasn't really concerned about what I was eating, what I was drinking, because I was, 26, 27 years old. And I remember just crying in the hospital bed and just really just letting it all out, and telling them, all the things I was dealing with and being pulled in different ways and everything. And that was kind of the moment I knew that it needed to be some change. A couple years later, I had a birthday dinner with some friends, and we kind of got into an argument, and I remember kind of just really like going off, and we were in public. Like I remember legit just kind of wilding out. And I woke up the next morning and I just felt so horrible. And I said, it's time to get some help. It's something that's going on. It's a lot brewing. It's a lot of just built up frustration that's going on. It's time to get some help. And so I contacted who's my therapist, Jasmine Pope. She's a real good friend of mine. And I was like, hey, you know, do you have any openings? You know, and is it okay, like being that we're friends, you know, that I can come to you and whatnot? And she reassured me that it was. And one of the first things that she taught me in therapy, now mind you, the first session I was nervous as hell to even go into her office. But the first session she taught me was about setting boundaries, and that it's okay to tell people no, and it's okay to, you know, not have to participate in everything, and it's okay to take things off my plate, and that if people, you know, if they're gonna be upset about it, then it is what it is. It's their problem. And so that was kind of like the first step that I realized, you know, that was the inner child of me wanting to please everybody, because growing up, you know, as a kid, you do want to please your parents, you do want to please your grandparents and everybody by getting good grades and participating in this and doing that. And I had to realize, like, you know, you're not a kid no more. You are a full grown adult. And so she taught me how to set boundaries, and she taught me to say the power of no. She taught me a whole lot, and that helped me tremendously with managing my stress and managing my anxiety. And so for that, I'm forever thankful for that lesson. So when I noticed a change in me when starting going to therapy, I realized that I felt a whole lot better. And, you know, the people around me started to notice the change. They started to notice just my thought process was different. I was much more calm. You know, I started encouraging other people to go to therapy. And so that's when I knew that I had made the right decision. I realized that in myself, because my blood pressure was down, for one. And for two, I just felt overall better. I wasn't so angry and frustrated and getting irritated so quickly, just because I had so much built up. And so with that, I make sure to go to therapy at least once or twice a month on a regular. I journal, I do meditation. You know, I recognize signs in myself when I have things going on. So if I know I'm not in a good mood, I'll tend to kind of pull myself away, or say, hey, you know, like today is kind of not a good day or whatever. I'm gonna kind of chill at home. Really using those coping skills that I learned from therapy. And so once I noticed that the shift started happening, that's when I knew that, you know, therapy was really, really working for me. So thinking about mental health has made a huge impact on my life, and is why I encourage other people to go to therapy. You know, Black men, Black women, definitely get into therapy. This shift has been very helpful. It's helped me have a better relationship with my parents. It's helped me have a better relationship with, you know, my siblings and whatnot. Really addressing those deep-rooted issues has helped me have better relationships with people in general around me. And so I'm very, very thankful for that shift. And I'm super proud that, you know, I went and got some help and went to therapy and make it on, you know, a regular basis that I go to therapy. So I am definitely happy about the shift that happened in regards to my mental health and my life. So my advice to Black men on the importance of mental health and counseling is that it's okay to not be okay. I know in our culture, in our society, it is not something that's talked about, but it's something that needs to be talked about. We are losing way too many Black men to mental health, to suicide, depression, and you know other mental health illnesses and issues that are going on. And so it is time for us to finally stop the stigma, and it's time for us to go and get the help that we need, and know that it is okay to not be okay. You're not gonna have a good day every single day. And I encourage each and every Black man who is watching this today to go and get therapy. You know, go and get the help that you need. And I promise that you will start to see the change in yourself and the change around you. Like I said, therapy helped me have better relationships with my parents, with my siblings, even with some of my friends, some of the friends that I lost before I went and got help, I was able to regain. We were able to have those positive conversations, and they were able to see where I was coming from, and they saw the change in me. And so I really encourage each and every Black man who's watching the show today to go and get some help, go and get therapy, and know that it is okay to not be okay.